How you doing? This is Chuck Burns for the USA. I'm here today. I'm giving you another Twitter troll video. This Twitter troll video, I like to do these things because I like to inform people of what the left's doing and how they're lying to people, and expose these trolls for what they are, and hopefully shove them back under their little troll bridge on Twitter. Their little Twitter troll bridge. This guy right here, his name is of course, the thing. It's reversing it from my sign, so I'll put it the other way. I think I have it right for you this way. His name's at the Cryptic Edge. The sign's backwards in the video, okay? Either way, on to the point. This guy right here is a fucking troll, okay? At the Cryptic Edge. Go harass him, go bother him, go talk shit to him, do whatever you gotta do to piss him off and ruin his day. This guy's on YouTube right now, and he's saying the most obscene shit. He's saying the YouTube, the videos Breitbart did of Ucorn exposing the corruption are CG. They never happened. It's a GOP scandal. The IRS is a GOP made-up scandal. I guess the people, the hundreds of groups of people that applied for tax-exempt status, they have to give it to them. I mean, you can say, well, they're only supposed to do this much of a political campaign and this much of social work. Well, they can't ever even get that percentage to show the damn IRS until they get to go out in the real world and prove themselves. So you have to give it to them, and then if they do it wrong, then you take it back. But they're not even giving it to them to prove that. So there you go, dude. There's not even grounds to deny them. And I guess those people are fake. I guess those people aren't real. I guess that Lois Lerner plead the fifth because she's innocent, right? No, that's usually not the case, you moron. At the Cryptic Edge, you freaking troll. You idiot moron. See, I find this more on Twitter. The left will just make shit up. And I wonder how gullible are we as people that other people believe this shit? I mean, otherwise, why would they write it if nobody was listening? And it's our fault for not going out and educating the public and telling them that these people are lying to them. We so poorly educate our children these days that they can be lied to by these fucking trolls on the internet, and they don't know any better. They don't know that these people out there are just freaking making this fucking shit up out their ass. He's saying stuff like the Black Panthers in Pittsburgh, or Philadelphia, which one it was, with the polls there with batons in Obama's first election, or when was the midterms, 2010, I forget. Either way, that they were GOP paid. Okay, Holder's a freaking leftist, freaking ideologue, freaking SS Gestapo fucking lawyer. If there were any evidence that the GOP was to blame for that, he would have been all over their ass with the charge and an indictment, and getting somebody from the GOP fucking caught up. But he didn't do that, which lets me know that there's no credible evidence to back your ass up, alright? The Cryptic Edge. You know what? Go fuck yourself. When the chains are on you and oppression sets in, if we lose, our side does, and your side wins, you know what? May your chains weigh heavy on you. You're the kind of guy, you're like a slave that wants to get his master a longer whip, and you're trying to convince other slaves to help buy him one. To pitch together your freaking little whatever you have to barter for a bigger whip for your master. That's what you're like. You're like, oh, give the government more power, because that's worked out so well. Almost 17 trillion in debt. Not getting any better. Yeah, your way is the way to go. Yeah, let me buy my master, the state, a bigger whip to beat me with, extract money from me with. Let's do that. Let's give him more power. Let's elect more socialist, Democrat, progressive pieces of shit. You fucking clown. You fucking lying clown. Tell me, oh, you got prove it. I can't prove it. I can't. But it's not going to do a damn bit of good to do it to you. The best thing I can do is just put this video out right here all over fucking Twitter and just tell people how much of a fucking ass clown you are. I'll put a backup account, so if you block me, I'll go on your page and put this video up. I'll tweet it to you so it shows up on people that feel follow. It shows up on what you see. I'll make it happen. Don't worry. Because you are a fucking retard. You lie at the you make shit up. Why do you liberals do that? Because the facts don't support you. History doesn't support you. This whole freaking universe is contradictory to what you believe. And so you have to pull shit out of your fucking ass. And everything that you say is about as much as worth as anything that's pulled out of somebody's ass. Your thoughts are the equivalent of anal beads. You can pull it out. Somebody might get a kick out of it, but it's really kind of fucking sick, actually. I'm not going to waste my time with you. I wasted 5 minutes making this video. It's enough time I've given you in my life. You're a troll. You're a lying troll. And you know what? The day will come. Because this country is never going to actually fall to socialism. You know why? Because it only doesn't take that many patriots to fucking start freedom's fire again. Remember, our founding fathers, only about 15-20% of the country actually fought in the war for independence. Only 15-20%, and we won. Our ideas won. A third of the country, only a third of the country supported them. The other third didn't care, and the other third was loyal to the British. And they won anyway. I think our odds are better than theirs. I think there's more people that will fight now. I think there's more people that support us than that now, than 33%. I think it's closer to half than you'd like to imagine. There's a lot more people that don't really care, which means they're in the middle ground. Which means you don't have that other. If we have like 45, you don't have the majority. You maybe have 40, and they're 15%. They're just too dumb to give a fuck. But you still are in the minority on that one. The minority of people, freedom lovers versus socialist pieces of crap like you. So you know what? The time will come when people like you will be exposed for the lies that you propagate. You will no longer be able to freaking run your mouth like a piece of trash. And the power that the politicians have, they abuse on both sides, to be fair. Well, I don't associate with the Republicans anymore because they abuse their power. Lindsey Graham, McCain, you're great examples to that. You can make exceptions to the Constitution. No, you cannot ever make exceptions to the Constitution. Ever. Period. Point blank. But their power is taken. And the citizens realize again that we run the country. The government only governs, as stated in the Declaration, with the consent of the governed. That is what its just power is derived from. And the line goes, it's just power derived from the consent of the governed. That is actual wording in the Declaration of Independence. So just remember this, leftist. Whenever you want to rise up and you think you're getting some more political power, it will never do you any good because this is America. Eventually you'll go too far, and we will always take it away from you, because it is not yours to begin with. It is ours, the people. We, the people of the American states. We have the power, and you have it on our good graces to be retracted at our times, at the time of our choosing. A unanimous declaration of the citizens of the United States of America for our national political rulers. We, the people, have determined that our politicians have acted on their own will as opposed to the people's will. Their disregard for the Constitution has threatened the very independence millions have fought and died for. We, the people, recognize that liberty hangs in the balance, and this document is a reminder to them that their positions are not secure. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume another among the powers of the earth in the separate and equal stations to which the laws of nature and God's and natures of God, and the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare their causes which impel them to the separation. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive in these ends, or it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles, and organizing its powers in such a form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. The history of this present political rulers is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having a direct object with the establishment of absolute tyranny over the United States. The politicians have obstructed the rights of the people, and as laid forth in the Constitution, let facts be submitted to a candid world. Sworn offense number 1. I won't number them after this, but I'm just telling you, we're starting now. Sworn oaths to uphold the people's rights are not taken seriously and have been trampled for many years. The rule of law that has guided this nation has been ignored without penalty. The letter of the law has been purposely circumvented by politicians to further their will. The politicians have imposed its will through vast regulations and deprived the people's rights through edicts from rogue government agencies. The politicians have imposed their agenda through votes, through emergency appropriations, and executive orders against the people's will. Instead of interpreting the laws, the unelected judges have acted to impose their will and the will of the political class against the people's will. The politicians' allegiance to the lobbyists has usurped the well-being of the republic for this generation and to the detriment of generations to follow. The politicians have squandered and are reckless with the money they are entrusted to them through taxation. The politicians seek to further their agenda by unfair and unequal taxation. The politicians have refused to be transparent about their actions and seek to hide from the public critical details. The politicians have colluded with the media against the benefit of the people. The politicians threaten to impose limits or to circumvent nearly all of the Bill of Rights. We are the American, yet the politicians' incompetence seek to divide our country by wages, skin color, gender, and religion, perhaps the worst of all, to divide a people. In violation of our rights, the politicians have established two sets of laws, one for themselves and one for the people. Politicians are authorizing vast databases for domestic spying on the people. The politicians have plotted to make the people dependent on foreign governments and foreign resources. The purchase of millions of rounds of ammunition for homeland agencies can only be recognized as fortifying the jobs of the political class in the event of national calamity. We the people have decided that you have failed the Republic. As your oppression grows, we declare authority over the politicians. We the people are the rightful masters of the Congress and the courts, not to overthrow the Constitution, but to overthrow the men and women who would pervert the Constitution. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we the people mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. I didn't write this. J. Patton, Conservapedia, wrote this. I support it, and I think that you will find that most of America supports this. You have usurped their rights, abused our power, you of the left, and you, like the little cryptic edge here, who put out the message and the lies that have allowed them to do it. The people you put in power are meaningless, because any time we can revoke your power. You fight for something that cannot win. You lie for a class of people that have no real power other than what we give them. And you are not the majority in America. And you never will be. Because your goal is to oppress people. And no man wants to or should live in chains. My personal pledge, I refuse to pay taxes to the federal government anymore. The state government as well, especially here in California. I think that when I see $60,000 IRS sets being built of the Star Trek bridge, do little conference videos that are fun and entertaining with my tax dollars, they don't deserve my money. I don't pay a contractor's license anymore. You have no right to tell me I have to pay you for the ability to work in my chosen profession. I have a right to travel, as declared by the Supreme Court, and is one of our unenumerated rights granted to us by the Constitution. You have no right to tax me to have it through the thing that you call a privilege, which is driving and a license. You have the right to tax my property, maybe a property tax, maybe a tax on the initial buying of a vehicle. But you don't have a right to charge me yearly to own a piece of property that I have or to operate it. That is unjust. You don't have the right to do any of those things. You convert rights to crimes. You've taken the man's choice, his right to his person over his body, and made what he puts in it a crime, and imprisoned millions of Americans over it, and built a class of people now that are permanent criminals through it by locking them in prisons and making them even better criminals, and giving them no options afterwards, because now that they've been labeled a felon, they have very little chance in the real world. You, the political class, have done this to us through an absurd lack of oversight of the American people and our complacency, which we no longer will take part in that complacency. We will stand up and we will say against you, I will not consent. I will not give you the money which you used to oppress me. I will not fund my own slavery. You, Cryptic Edge, are a piece of trash. You are a willing slave. For why, I do not know. But may your chains weigh heavy upon you.